Hi there, I'm Kevin Wood. I'm a realtor with eXp Realty in Tucson, Arizona. Today we're talking about the pros and cons and the things that people wish they knew about active adult communities before they moved in. It's a topic that's on the minds of many people as they consider their next move. So whether an active adult community is right for you or not, here in southern Arizona, not only do we have the mild and sunny winters, but we also have dozens upon dozens of active adult communities. There's Robeson properties at Saddlebrook and Quail Creek. We've got Del Webb in Vail in southeastern Arizona over at Rocking Cay. We've got Sunflower. Then of course there's Green Valley, which was one of the first active adult communities in the United States. That's a city actually in southern Arizona. And the reason so many people choose Tucson for 55 plus communities is that there is a wide range of affordability. In fact, it's one of the most affordable areas in the state of Arizona. So when it comes to the pros of an active adult community, the amenities are at the top of the list. I mean, they are the main attraction. And the reason being is the builders, they pour tens of millions of dollars into the best of pickleball and golf and tennis and heated lap pools and spas and workout facilities, and of course community centers that are just filled with activities day in and day out. Something that I like to do when someone comes to visit Tucson and they're not sure if an active adult community is right for them is to take them to a Saddlebrook or a Sun City at Oro Valley, which is a couple of our 55 plus communities, or a Del Webb, and just let them experience just the beautiful pools, the pickleball courts, the awesome community centers, and then visit a neighborhood that is not an active adult community. They are usually blown away by the huge difference between the two. Another pro that's worth mentioning when talking about amenities is the people and the social connections that you're going to make. With all these different activities like art classes and yoga and events and of course outdoor activities as well, you'll be meeting as many new people as often as or as little as you like, depending upon how much you get out and about. The number 3 pros we talk about different benefits of active adult communities is security, because nearly every active adult community is gated and usually has a security guard there 24/7. And in fact, there are some communities that have just the one main entrance and any other entrances are closed between like 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. I think there's just something very reassuring knowing that this place, these active adult communities were designed to keep you safe. Now let's talk about some of the cons of living in a 55 plus or active adult community, because they're not for everyone, but there are some things that you just need to be aware of. And the first one is the HOA fees. They're not cheap. I mean, yes, all of those services, the maintenance, the landscaping, the clubhouse, the pools, the golf courses, they all come at a cost. And HOA fees can add up quickly, and I think it's important to weigh in if the services and amenities are something you're going to use regularly and they make sense for your budget. They usually range anywhere from about $150 to up to $500 a month, depending upon the community. The only other cost is when you purchase the property, and that there's a community enhancement fee that's usually a buyer expense, and that's usually about $3,000. But again, that's just a one-time fee. As with most HOAs, there are strict rules and regulations. Many of these communities can be pretty particular. The plus is that the neighborhoods look absolutely pristine. The minus is if you're someone who likes to customize your home's exterior or your yard, this might feel a little bit restrictive because you have to get an approval first. The thing to remember about the HOA fees is they do not include unlimited golf and the use of the driving range. Or if you're into pickleball and you want to be in a club, there's going to be an additional cost or a fee for something like that. Or maybe you want to take a yoga or a ceramic class, there's likely going to be a small fee for materials or maybe the instructor or something like that. You know, I believe that most people know this and they're not expecting it to be all-inclusive, but it's definitely worth mentioning. Another potential con to consider is living among people in the same stage of life. It can be awesome, but for some it might feel limiting. Maybe you have grandkids who stay over often, or maybe you just enjoy the energy of a more diverse age group. With an age-restricted community, there's a definite shift in that atmosphere. What I recommend and what I hear from my past clients over the years is just to stay engaged outside of the active adult community, whether it be at your church or a social group. Maybe you're going to different golf courses. I mean, there's like more than 40 around Tucson. Whatever the case is just branch out and don't rely solely on the 55 plus community. We've talked about the pros and the cons. Now I just want to share a few more things that many people that we've helped over the years have mentioned, and they said that they wish they knew before moving in. Number one, and this is kind of a tough one, because in a perfect world, your son or daughter and your grandkids will come and stay with you during every major holiday. But in reality, that's not the case. This means that you probably don't need an extra 1 or 2 bedrooms or an additional 1,000 or 2,000 square feet of living space, because it might not get used as much as you think. Number 2 is life happens in retirement just like any other time, which is why having a plan in place before an accident or a major health event occurs. You know, your family might be 500, 1,000 miles away, and the question is who's going to help you when you need it? It's so much easier to have an open conversation and talk about this with your kids or with your brother or your sisters to have a plan. In another video that I do, I talk about the 4 dilemmas of selling a home after age 65, and one of those 4 dilemmas is long-term healthcare planning. It's a big one because it affects you both financially and emotionally. The third thing that we've heard people talk about is they've said that they wish that they had a hobby before they retired. In fact, there's some doctors and therapists that I know through what I do for a living who encourage their patients by saying don't retire until you have a hobby. The reason is obvious. There you have it. Some of the major pros and cons and things people wish they knew before moving into a 55 plus community, and also before they retire for that matter. Overall, people love active adult communities for the reason that I mentioned. So I hope this helps you as you think about the different options. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again in one of our future videos.